Listen to what this man is saying here.
The GDP of Africa is now 3.6 trillion. All of us, imagine, the whole of Africa. Egypt, South Africa, Algeria, all of us. 3.6 trillion. And we are 1.5 billion people now. And our land area, the land area of Africa is 4 times the size of the United States. And our population is now 5 times the population of the United States of America. But our GDP is 3.6 trillion, and GDP of the USA is 32 trillion. So, all of us together, in terms of wealth, are only 10% of the wealth of the United States. This is a big shame. Why should this be the case? There's been some talk that there was no other way in the past. I don't believe that. If you look at China, you people, you can go and get the figures. China was very, very poor, very underdeveloped when the communists took over. But they were able, because of discipline and clarity, were able to save and start investing in their economy, even when they were still very poor. So it is ideological. It's not just money. It's not money. This is more than money.
So, for those of you who doesn't know this man, this is Yoweri K, Museveni, the president of Uganda. And guess what? This man has stayed in power now for over 40 years. For over 40 years. And the same communists that he's talking about now have also stayed in power in China for just this the exact amount of years, just about 40 years. The Communist Party of China have stayed in power for just about 40 something years, and Museveni has stayed in power for over 40 years. I wonder who is referring to, who is he blaming, who is he telling that it's a shame that Africa still have 3.6 trillion GDP. You have been in power for 40 years. You have been privileged to be able to stay in power in one country for 40 whole years. And yes, your country don't have a GDP of 1 trillion. I want to know what he has been doing in his country for the past 40 years, and who is he referring, who is he blaming that the economy of Africa is 3.6 trillion. If even someone like me, who is not very educated or who's not a politician, if I had the privilege to stay in power for 40 years in a country, God damn it. I said, God damn it. Even the impossible, even things that human feel it will never be possible, I will make it possible in that country. Flying cars will be everywhere. Even the things that humans feel it can't be possible, I will make it possible in that country. You stay in power for full 40 years, and your GDP is not even up to 3 billion, to $300 billion for a whole 40 years, and you are still campaigning. You refuse to leave the country for the young ones. There's one guy in Uganda that have been contesting now for the past, I think, almost 10 years now. Every day, every time he gets arrested, he gets beaten by this very old man. Getting arrested and beaten by this very old man every time, just because the man wants to free the country from this old fossil. And then he come back on the news to tell Africa that it's a shame that the countries of Africa have 3.6 trillion GDP, while you have stayed in power for almost 46 years. See, after watching, I watched the whole video on YouTube. I went down with his speak, everyone else speak. I watched everything. See, after watching this video, that's when I realized that These African leaders, they know the exact problem of Africa. And not just to know the exact problem, to know the exact solution that this problem needs, that this problem have. If you walk around the whole of Africa today and you see a road being constructed, you see a young Chinese in the back of the president. You see a young Indian, a young American, a young European. They are the one doing the road. The education of Africa, what is it doing? The education of Africa, what what is it? What is the purpose of the education? If you can provide engineers to fix our roads, you can provide doctors to stay in our hospitals. Anywhere you go to in Africa today, and you see that they are constructing road, you see a white man or a Chinese man at the back, probably at the back, who is constructing the road. And this man have the audacity, the temerity to see that to come out proudly to say that he has stayed in power for whole 40 years. He has stayed in power for whole 40 years. That is a shame that Africa have a GDP of 3.6 trillion. China GDP was not even up to 3 trillion when this guy take over. When this man take over as a GP. As a GP have moved the economy from less than $5 trillion to almost $20 trillion now in less than 20 years. Or in just a little over 20 years. And you have stayed in power for almost 46 years, and you come out to say shame that it's a shame that Africa is still have a GDP of 3.6 trillion. This is something you could have made possible, and not just not and why this thing is very very sad is that this is a country that have a lot of natural resources. Uganda is rich with many natural resources. Even if it is just fertile land alone can fetch Uganda a lot of trillions of dollars. This could make any country rich. Just fertile land, just fertile land. This was consuming a lot of food every day, consuming a lot of meat. Just fertile land could make a country rich. But this is a country that have a lot of resources. We have oil, we have cobalt, we have iron, we have gold. I think they also have diamond. See, this is the reason why I say I've been taking it to my mind, and this is the reason why I've not contributed any content for the past 8 days now, because I was taking it to my mind that maybe I should just stop talking about Africa. Maybe I should just stop about this bad government, because I've come to find out that they know the exact problem that Africa is facing, and they know the exact problem of how to solve it. The reason why they are doing what they are doing is just something I can't explain. It's just something I don't know. I have no idea why they decide to treat Africa this way. I don't know why they decide to make sure they do everything to make sure Africa is poor. I don't know why. I don't know if they are trying to protect the white people's legacy, or if it's just greed. Even greed. This is more than greed. It's more than greed. Even the greediest person in this world will not do this. A greedy person will look for a way to make the country prosper so that we have a lot of money to steal. This is how greedy people do. I've seen a lot of greedy people in my life. Greedy people always find a way to make sure where the money is coming from. They find a way to add more so that more money will come. This is why you see that they put quick money, get rich quick money scheme, scam greedy people a lot of money. Because greedy people want to put a lot of money in it, so that they will be able to get out a huge amount of money. But these leaders we have in Africa, I don't really know what to call them. Whether we see this is greedy or what. Because this is more than greediness. This is more than greediness. This is hard. This is very, very sad.